The hype. The mad hype! The final page! Oh my god! That shit was hype. That scene to where Izuku is like, Ochiko, use your power on us. Shoji, get ready to control how we come in. Tsuyu, I want you to throw us as hard as you can with your tongue. Just the overall insane cliffhanger we were given with this chapter of Boku no Hero Academia was too fucking fun. What makes this chapter so good is because it's like the mangaka just middle fingered us right there. Like, we were all saying last week we were getting that, rescue Sasuke type vibes. And I talked about how this is very different in a way because of how Bakugo is. He's not a Sasuke character. I talked about that. And seeing how this was done, it was like a big middle finger to the people who are saying this is exactly like it. And, Bakugo is going to become a villain. Because seeing this final part of this chapter to where the magician is captured, he just slammed to the fucking ground. That was epic. Like, that final page, dude, when he fucking slammed to the ground. Like, you gotta imagine how much that probably fucking hurt getting hit by, these people flying through the air. I mean, Tsuyu slinging them, and then Ochiko putting, the gravityless, like, they have no gravity, and they're just flying through the air like a fucking bullet, and then you get hit by all these people at once. Just imagine how much that hurts. Magician is down, dude. I would not be surprised to see him down for the count for a little bit. Like, his back snapped just because of how hard he probably got hit to the ground. But what makes it even better is when you see that final panel and they're just all on top of him. Magician's like fucking unconscious and you just see his hat down and all that. This guy was like, you can't do it. Why would I fight people like you and all that? I'm an entertainer. And he's just jumping around and shit. It's like, time for me to go. Mission complete. And then all of a sudden they're flying for the air and they just hit his ass, hit him to the ground. Chapter ends. We have a big fight that's about to happen. So there is a lot to talk about, and before I even get into that hype stuff of the ending of this chapter, which I've already kind of gotten into, let's talk about some of the other things. For one, Black Mist makes an appearance, and he is freeing the other villains that were supposedly getting captured, like Spinner, for instance. Black Mist has arrived, and he is about to start fucking people up behind the scenes, which is kind of scary, because Black Mist, as we've seen multiple times throughout the, series of Boku no Hero Academia, he's a very powerful villain. He could cause a lot of damage depending on how he uses his quirk, and seeing how he is now there, he's pretty much their getaway. For instance, he got open up, a portal, like a warp gate, and they could just walk through it and leave. So, with him being there, it's a huge problem, because that would mean that the villains are almost about ready to just walk off and leave with Tokoyami and Bakugo, which Tokoyami getting captured. Damn, that is something I did not expect. That's left field. Like, I mean, this is right field to you because that's right. But, left field, okay, to you, what you're seeing. It just, seeing Tokoyami getting captured, it makes sense in a way, because, I mean, Moonfish was a strong villain. He was a murderer, he was a person that would kill people, I mean, he was on death row, and seeing how Tokoyami's Dark Shadow was able to just bitch slap Moonfish like nothing, and just kicked his ass, he's like in the dirt dead or something, it just goes to show you the power of Tokoyami. And for the magician guy to actually be interested in Tokoyami, it makes sense, because I mean, if you saw an ability like that, you saw someone with an ability like that, we know for a fact who most likely might try to get that ability and give it to someone else. For instance, All For One. Think about it. I mean, All For One, we know for a fact he is a person that can take abilities, quirk abilities, so it's kind of obvious that maybe Tokoyami might have his abilities stolen, and we already see where this is going, because Tokoyami has a very strong quirk. It's a very overpowered quirk. And if that does indeed happen, where Tokoyami loses his quirk ability, that'd be kind of crazy. That'd be fucking crazy. And I couldn't imagine the character development Tokoyami would get if he did lose his quirk. That'd probably give some very good character development, just because if he lost his quirk, he didn't have it and all that. I can't imagine. If Bakugo lost it as well, oh god. Okay, so enough of that. Besides Black Mist being there, Nomu is also there. Nomu is there and going around causing havoc, and Momo even was fighting Nomu. And Momo, oh my god, she's in bad shape. She looks like she's really fucked up. Like, she's seen better days. And I'm surprised she was even able to kind of stand. But, I mean, I'm also asking the same question about Izuku right now. How the fuck is he even conscious? Because that poor man, he's broken, like, every freaking bone in his body. Like, I don't even know how he's speaking. Like, I mean, if his tongue had a bone, his tongue is broken. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Because he has broken almost everything I could probably imagine. Probably the only thing he hasn't really broken at this moment is his brain. Because the plan he figured out, like, he didn't think about the consequences, but, I mean, still, just Izuku, oh my god, after this arc, you're GG for a good long time. I would not be surprised to see him out of it for, God, a good 40 to 50 chapters. I'm not even joking, like, seriously, because Izuku's fucked up. He's pretty damn fucked up. But back on topic to Momo. So, Momo, she's fighting Nomu. I was like, Momo's fighting Momo. What the fuck? But yeah, Momo was fighting Nomu. And Nomu, he goes off and he starts going back to the rendezvous point where, you know, the other villains are going. And in the last-ditch effort to kind of follow them and track where they're going, Momo makes a tracking device and tells one of her fellow helpers, like, hey, I need you to get over there. I need you to weld this onto his body because we need to be able to find him once everything is said and done. The way this is being set up, it makes me assume that the rescue of Tokoyami and Bakugo is going to fail. I think it is, because for the welding thing to be set up in this chapter, it lets us know that it's a very good likely possibility that, you know, Tokoyami and Bakugo are going to be kidnapped, they're going to be gone, and more of our characters are probably going to be kidnapped in the process, or some of them are going to die, or something's going to happen, because Izuku, here's the problem with his plan that I need to mention. Izuku's main goal or objective was to stop the magician from taking his two friends, okay? That was his main goal. And he didn't really know about the villains meeting up. He had no idea the villains were meeting up at that point. He had no idea that when they crashed into the magician, they would be right there in front of, you know, the villains, like Dabi and them. And this right here is very dangerous, because we've already seen that, for instance, Dabi, he's very strong. He is a very, very strong villain. Like, he's not someone you really want to fuck with, because that's how strong he is. We saw what he did to Aizawa. He put some damage on him. So, when we factor that in, and factor in how Izuku is just pretty much useless. Like, he's our MC, but Izuku right now is a liability. He is no help to anyone. The only thing that he has going for him at the moment is his brain, but even then, if someone gets a hold of him, he's fucked. He's done. I mean, someone could probably just lift up his arm and he would be in excruciating pain, because that's the type of body his body's currently in, like the state of it, because he's that hurt. He's not really thinking completely ahead, because, I mean, with them being there, it puts everybody else in danger. I would not be surprised, I'm going to say this now, I would not be surprised if more people get kidnapped in the process of what Izuku just did. Of course, they went along with what Izuku said, but still, I would not be surprised if for instance, someone like, let's say, Todoroki, he gets kidnapped as well. I would not be surprised. If he gets kidnapped, he's gone. Let's see, what if, you know, there's a possibility maybe even Izuku could get kidnapped, because Toga's there, and she has a thing for Izuku. It's kind of officially revealed in this chapter. So, there's a possibility even Izuku could be stolen. Maybe Toga will have, you know, Izuku all to herself. I mean, that's a possibility. And then we also have to maybe Tsuyu and Ochiko are going to have to hunt them down, and Momo as well, because they were all kidnapped. I mean, you have to go figure. I mean, there's a lot riding here, because they can't really even defend themselves. They're against a lot of strong villains. We've seen some deadly abilities from them. Black Mist is wandering around. Nomu is coming to their location, so we know shit's about to be real. So, yeah, definitely the villains are probably going to get away, and there's going to be some negative, you know, consequences for what just happened, for them popping up there. So, regardless of that, like, moving aside all this other details, I think the chapter was very good. We get to see, Belly Boy, he actually is hiding like a little coward in the bushes, which, go figure. I mean, he's always been that kind of character, fits with his personality. I'm willing to bet he's going to be a character that's eventually going to grow up and become strong later on down the road, just because of the way his character is designed. He reminds me a lot of Great Boy, how Great Boy was very scared, or he was a coward, and then, you know, eventually he turned around and got that good development. I could see, you know, how he could have the same development as Great Boy as well, because of the way this chapter was depicted. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or nights wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.